My name is Charles. I made my name known for being a diabetes advocate and award-winning filmmaker. I created a show that took 5 people living with diabetes that helped to educate, inspire, and save their lives. About 5 years ago, my father passed away from cancer, and I wanted to do something to help bring awareness to those living with this terrible disease. I will embark on a road to help change the lives of some that are fighting this horrible condition called cancer. It does not take much effort to live for others, and what we leave is how we will be remembered. I hope at the end, we can see that hope is a great thing and the start of a better future. Welcome to 8 Days. It's been many months after the filming. My goal is always to follow up with the guest to see how they are doing with their health. This can be a scary time, to be honest, as you hope for the best, but you never know how things may turn out. We had a team follow up with Kate to see how she was doing, as I prayed her health was in good shape. Kate, as we all know, was given 6 months to live. And to be honest, I was very worried.
For 2 very dark days, I was given absolutely no hope at all. I was told by the entire medical team that there's no way you will survive this cancer. No one has survived this cancer before, Kate. It's not possible. When you're told that by the head oncologist, by the lung specialist, by your doctor, by the radiologist, when a whole team of people say there's no chance, there's no hope, I believed it until I was directed to Hope4Cancer. And from that moment on, my life is just, it's been flying. It's great. Life's amazing. I'm one very lucky girl. What I gained from being part of that production is absolutely invaluable. And to be able to tell my story and join with everybody else on the show to tell their story and their journey of their cancer fight was amazing. I'm very privileged that I was allowed to travel from Australia to Mexico to be part of this groundbreaking TV show. Very privileged indeed. So I can't wait to have a reunion one day with everybody involved and give them all lots of love and hugs and squeezes. I'm very connected to Caroline and Carrie predominantly. So I pretty much know what's going on with everybody, which is nice. And of course, Dr. Tony Jimenez and his darling wife Marcy. We chat a lot. Yeah, it's been and Charles and I connect on social media quite often and chew the fat, shall we say. Yeah, we know what's going on in life. So, yeah, things are good. It's going to be better. All I wanted was to be deemed cancer-free, and that's exactly what I got. Yep, NED. There's no evidence of disease, and I did that in 12 months. So to go from being told that you don't have very long to live to being cancer-free in exactly a year is amazing. So I'm on cloud 9. Life's great.
Nicole went back for her follow-up a few months later in Mexico. I was excited to see what her results would be. I had kept in touch with her, and she had made some amazing changes to her diet and lifestyle. I wanted her to win, so this meant a lot to hear how she was doing.
So my first thoughts about being on 8 days, I really wasn't for sure what to think or what to expect because I'm just a very quiet person. I'm not a person that likes to be around a lot of people. I just like to keep to myself, you know? I've been like that all my life. So I was a little bit nervous about being in front of a camera or being around a lot of people because I kind of shut down when I'm around people that I don't know. But everybody made you feel so welcome that you just kind of felt at home, you know? Even though I didn't know a soul, you know, I felt at home. I didn't feel uncomfortable or uneasy. Everything just came natural. I was nervous about being on TV just because when I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer the second time, I hadn't told anybody. So right before I found out that I was going to be on TV, I made a post on Facebook so that everybody knew. Because, you know, sometimes people kind of feel like, well, why didn't she tell me? You know, they feel like, well, I thought we were close enough where she should have told me, and I didn't want to have to tell individual people, so I just made a Facebook post. And a lot of people were like, well, what's Hope for Cancer? And how'd you know? And trying to explain to them how I found out about Hope for Cancer. And I'm like, you know, a lot of times I look for signs, and I did not have any type of uneasy feeling or nervous or afraid. Everything just kind of pulled together. So I'm like, you know, God, if this is meant to be, just let it be. And He made it so that everything just came together. So I thank God for being able to come here and get the education and be able to talk to the doctors and learn one-on-one, because at home, they really don't take the time to explain everything to you in depth where you really understand, you know. Everything is a rush decision. You have to everything is so fast, you have to do this now, they don't give you any time to think. You feel so much pressure. Even the second time, I didn't have a lot of time to think about, you know, do I want to have another surgery or do I want to go through chemotherapy? They make you feel like that's what you have to do. And that's all I knew, you know, and then thank God, holistic treatments, Hope for Cancer, and being connected with Charles, because if not, I never would have known about Hope for Cancer, you know, so I think.
How to get there or what to do.
Yes. I mean, I never would have known, but I thank God for connecting us all, you know. I guess it's just all part of God's plan, you know.
Coming up on 8 Days. So we are pulling up at Jose's and Caroline's house right now.
Hi, look who's here.
My experience at the clinic was great because of
Carrie was a joy to have on the show. To see her rise up after the incident that took place with the expert in Mexico.
I don't understand what's going on. What's going on is that the only thing that he represented, the one thing he said to me, that he read off of my Facebook page and when talking to me on the phone, is the exact thing that I don't want to be.
And which was what?
Which is just a freaking pretty face with no depth.
Was powerful to see who she was as a person. Her smiling face on set, and see what she brought to the others in the group. I knew Carrie was a special human being. I had kept in touch with her over the last few months, and we would speak often. A few months later, I asked if she wanted to be on the follow-up show, and the crew was ready to fly out and film how she was doing. I think she was dealing with some changes in her personal life, and also career choices, and wanted to keep things more private. We do know that Carrie is doing amazing and has no evidence of cancer. We wish her well in her journey and know we all will meet again and sit down and laugh about our time in Mexico. So we are pulling up at Jose's and Caroline's house right now. And Janine happened to be in town, so we're all coming together, and I'm excited to just really encourage. You know, I think that them sharing their amazing journey and being a part of the show and where they're at right now with their health is just really important to follow up and show support. So I'm excited to see them. And I heard they made me some fantastic food, so that's another good thing, because Caroline here is a good cook, so let's go see how they're doing.
Charles!
Hey,
how
brother.
are you? Hi, look who's here.
Hey.
Charles. Charles is in the
What's up,
house.
young lady? How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you?
Wonderful.
Look at you.
Hello.
One of the things I enjoyed about Jose and his lovely wife, Caroline, is their faith. It was not overbearing, but giving with love. I was so happy to visit their home and just talk and laugh. They bring me peace, I will take a piece of them with me for a long time, and many others will as well. They have become like family to me, and memories have been forever ingrained.
My experience at 8 days was amazing. It came at a moment in time in my cancer journey where I had questions, and I needed to make a decision about whether I should do surgery or not. And being able to have that next step, if you will, where I could now explore, walk into another experience like 8 days, where I had a chance to be looked at again by professional people, Dr. Tony, Dr. Daniela Collins, Oscar, and others that were there, that were able to continue to add to my healing journey.
8 days came at a point in Joe's journey where he started to get fear-based after having been on his own from the Hope4Cancer 21 days. So going to 8 days was the light in the tunnel that God revealed to Joe that was going to happen in his cancer journey. When we got off the plane, it was like literally, it was like entering heaven. 8 days was such a blissful, and the word is blissful, experience for both Joe and I. Meeting Dr. Jimenez and getting to know him on a personal level and receiving medical attention from him firsthand, that was priceless.
Having Caroline with me at 8 Days Live in Cancun was just so precious. I couldn't do this without her. It's impossible, and I was so glad that she could be there. She wasn't retired at that time, and she was able to take that time off. She's a people person, and for her to get to know all the individuals that were important to me, and for her to become a part of their lives was really, really healing.
Having the 8 days series being filmed, I was able to meet 4 other patients that were there for the series, and it was a great experience because it was nice to be around people that were going through the same thing I was going through, and even though we were all at different stages of our cancer, we got to know about each other, learn from each other, the exercises that we had, the trip that we took to the monkey cages, which was very very profound for me. It was very exciting because I had a lot of fears in my life, and it was a really great experience. And having all this documented, I was excited about because so very little is known about holistic and alternative treatments for cancer, and I was so glad that the series came to play so that we could, more people could learn about it, and people all over the world could learn that there are alternatives and that they're not alone. My experience at the clinic was great because of the professionals and the caregivers that were there. Dr. Jimenez, founder of Hope4Cancer, was amazing. He was on site, answering questions. The different doctors, my personal doctor, Dr. Allen, he was wonderful. Gustavo, who was in the kitchen preparing our meals, all wonderful, healthy foods, no sugar, no salts, no preservatives, everything fresh. Dr. Daniela and Oscar, they were wonderful. They were so compassionate and caring. I was able to do a couple of exercises at the beach house with all the other patients, and it was very exciting to me to learn more about myself and to see others. We did a really great exercise about what cancer had taken from us and what cancer had brought into our lives.
Coming up on 8 days.
So I had to just keep telling myself, even in 2014, I shall live and not die.
I'm happy to say that we have not found anything, no lymph nodes anywhere.
Yeah, I'm great. I'm really good. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I got what I wanted, and that was to be cancer-free. Just a mum that wants to stay alive for her little girl. That's all. So it's like the mother tiger inside me, and that mother tiger rose her head at the very start. She'll always be there, but she's calmed down a bit now. She's calmed down a little bit now. I'm happy and healthy. I've been working so hard for the last year and a half to get my health where it is. I really do feel that I could face anything, but I'm not willing to put myself in the face of any risks. So yeah, I've removed my Annabelle out of kindy. I own a store. I've closed the store doors. We work online only now. I increased my vitamin C intake. So yeah, I'm very careful. I'm very careful. We're home based now. I can't risk anything trying to take my life away again. But we'll be okay. We'll get through it.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Wonderful.
Oh. Pretty kayak. And Joe's afraid of the water.
I went in crying and I came out crying.
You came out crying.
Hearing your news and seeing you and your
Right,
gorgeous
right.
wife. I was like, we went through highs, we went through lows, and we're all, of course, still in contact, and we're following each other's journey. We're very invested in everybody's lives now.
Good morning, Kate.
Good morning.
I'm ready for you.
Thank you.
Please follow me.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Yeah, you too.
Okay. You know the procedure. Top off.
Yeah.
Wear the rope with the open side in the
Yeah,
front.
okay.
Okay. When you're ready, please call me. I'll be waiting for you.
All right. Thank you.
My pleasure. So I'm going to start with the neck ultrasound.
That place in Mexico, Hope4Cancer, has saved my life. There's no doubt about it. That clinic right there, the education they've given me, not only on treatments and therapies, but on mindset, on emotion, on forgiveness, on love, on hope. It's incredible. There's no place like it in the world.
So you know possibility, right?
Yes. So what do you think about the photos?
I don't know.
A good way to help with stress and with anxiety is meditation, you know. So there are several types of meditation.
Okay.
One that I know a little bit is it's called mindfulness. So maybe it could be a good idea for you to listen to one of those videos.
I enjoyed Hope4Cancer because everybody is so friendly. Like, I don't think I'm used to that because you go to the doctor in the States, you just go to the counter, check in, and sit down and wait for the doctor to see you, and then you're in and out, you know. Here it's like more of a connection. There's more one-on-one. You actually learn what you're actually here for, you know, and you're educated at the same time.
So this morning was Nicole's very first hyperbaric chamber, where you have to kind of get down in and crawl into a capsule, and then they zip you up for about an hour. So she's told us she was a little concerned because she was claustrophobic, so we got her in this morning. Got her all ready to go and thought she was good, but she didn't want us to zip it. So she said, can we do this with it unzipped? Well, of course we can't. So
my first day for treatment, I could not get in the hyperbaric chamber. I was like panicking. I was like, oh my God, panic attack. I'm like, do not zip this up. Please do not, you cannot zip this up. They kept trying to, are you ready yet? I'm like, no, not ready yet. I'm like sweating, had to take my wig off. I'm like, oh my God, this is too much. So Tara got in there with me, and I was like, my whole anxiety came down. It was like, I was like, I cannot be in here for hours. She's like, oh, it's okay, honey, I'm in here with you. We're gonna be in here an hour together. And everything was fine. And after that, I was fine. I was a little nervous after that, just because I'm claustrophobic. But even that second day, I was able to get in there by myself. So I think if she hadn't got in there with me, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do this. But now it's just like yesterday and today, I got in there, no problem. So I'm very grateful and thankful that she got in there with me that first day, because I don't know if I would have made it. I would have been passed out when they unzipped that. Because I was just so anxious, like, oh my God, I just felt trapped in there or something. So I'm thankful that she got in there with me.
So cute. Oh, that's so cute.
My best memories about being on 8 days is just everybody, like, even though I really didn't know everybody was so loving and caring. And to me, that's everything, because who doesn't want to be loved or feel comfortable in the environment that they're in? You know what I'm saying? So to me, just the people were just so genuine. And to me, that's like hard to find. Like, I just love the fact that everybody is so genuine and so real, so authentic, you know? That's what I love about it. And just meeting new people. It's like, I feel like everybody's family now. They're not a friend, they're family. So that's what I love about it. And people still keep in touch, you know, want to know how everything is going. So to me, just the connection and the family love that you get from everybody.
As we go forward and look at the rest of your test results, your vitamin D level is not where we want it to be. Okay, 58.1, and for
The guest at 8 days, I knew at least, let's see, of course, Dr. Tony was not, don't think he was a guest, and his wife Marcy. You know, there's no background or anything like that. You know, I express my emotions better when I'm by myself. Like when I'm away, I'm on myself, or I'm walking the beach or going up on a mountain, and I can cry and I can let out and I can get in touch with how I'm feeling.
When we label people and we label someone that it's alcoholic, diabetic, we're putting this forever label, right? So it's taking action. It doesn't mean it's going to be forever. This is not it. This is just a period of time, and that's not who I am. That's what I'm going through. So emotions are raw, are fast. They have to do with symptoms.
And Daniela she was my therapist for recall healing. The emotional part of my healing was very important. I've got a lot in my history of a lot of trauma and emotional stuff that I needed to face up to, and Daniela just made it so much easier. And she was there, and she was just a fantastic person. And then a new guy that I never met him, but the moment I met him, I knew there was something special about him. Dr. Asa, I don't know his last name, but he was a real good guy, good man. And so basically the ultrasound is showing that you know, there's no evident cancer. You know, you can't really.
So the cancer is undetected.
Undetected in the encapsulated, is how you say it, of the prostate.
Nothing.
And it's not outside of the prostate, so yeah.
Are you serious, man?
So that's what I heard.
It was shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking? Wait a minute.
Well, not shocking. It was like.
Wait a minute.
I've always believed that that's what's going to happen. I did. In my heart, I've always believed that. It was just, what was shocking to me is how soon it happened.
Is it really that it happened that soon? Or is it really that you made some transitions in your thought life and in your heart?
Could be.
Good,
It could be that.
Because God does things, and I think, reading the Word, right?
Reading the Word, yeah, sure.
Things can build,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And then in a moment, create and write down very clear statements and just say it. I know I'm healed. I know I'm well. I thank you for my clear report.
And right at the beginning when I met him, I told him about my struggle, that I was, I've been considering whether I should do surgery or not. And he just gave me some good input, good insight. And so I enjoyed him. He interviewed me a couple of times. And one of those times he challenged me, to stay active as a pastor, to serve, to double up. And I've been doing that. I'm in a new phase, and I'm ready. I'm ready to do that. This past Sunday I was couldn't go to church because we had a family activity, but I missed that. I missed being in the trenches. 2018 when I got diagnosed, I had to step down for the full-time pastor position. But so it was good for Dr. Asa to challenge me that way. And then there was Rodolfo Young and his girlfriend Christina. Good man also, very sincere. He knows his stuff, and he helped us with a couple of the therapies that were very, very healing also, in terms of setting some of our inner stuff free and letting it out. And then yoga. Yoga is an addition that I've done to my protocol. My daughter owns a yoga studio here in the city of San Dimas, next to the city of Glendora, where we live. And so it wasn't new for me, but it was really cool to have that little time of doing some yoga. There was one exercise that she made us do with Caroline and I where we have to trust fully each other.
You can have your arms out, but don't reach for him. Rather let yourself come down as bends. Good. Go straight up, Joe. Straight up. Oh, look at the strength.
Okay, I was doing what she did the first
Nice.
time. Yeah.
Where Caroline she had to hold me up with her legs up in the air, hold me up in the air, and I had to do the same for her. And it's an exercise that takes a lot of trust. So that was really cool.
Coming up on 8 days.
And when he went to Hope4Cancer, it made all the difference.
I was always under the misconception, number one, that cancer was the death sentence.
When he was at Hope4Cancer, it was the greatest blessing in his life, because before that he was almost like a dead person. He was dying, not only psychologically but physically, and there was not a lot of hope for him as a cancer patient.
Bienvenido.
Thank you.
Sígame, por favor, vamos a su ultrasonido. Voy a poner gel. He's a patient with prostate cancer, so the idea is to try to identify if he has lymph node enlargements, especially in retroperitoneum and the groins. And also I try to see the prostate gland with a transrectal ultrasound.
I just had my ultrasound with the Dr. Gregorio. And it's always difficult to, do testing, to do ultrasounds, of course. It's uncomfortable. But I think I show my emotions in my face. And obviously, at this moment, I can tell my muscles and everything. I'm feeling a little bit, not anxious, but very pensive.
And when he went to Hope4Cancer, it made all the difference. He was able to lay a great foundation in terms of how to eat nutritionally in a consistent way, how to use non-invasive therapies, and what supplements to take. He went through a period of healing, recall healing, so that he can lower his stress level and resolve the issues of the past that were manifesting itself in his current life. Being able to meet amazing cancer patients that are warriors like Kate, Carrie, and Janine, Nicole, that was so inspirational. And to hear their stories of struggle and their fighting spirit and their resolve to beat cancer, that was such a blessing to me. Being together and living together was second to none. It was a life-changing experience. I came home a different person as a result of being impacted by that entire tribe, I would call tribe, yes.
So what'd you think?
It was nice. It was, of course, like everything else, everybody's so friendly and make you feel welcome.
Interesting. I feel the same way. With me, I knew from knowing the history and speaking to patients that had been there that it was going to be a good experience. I expected that, and I expected them to be nice and professional.
Right.
I didn't expect what I got today.
Right.
I didn't expect the hugs. I didn't expect the just step-by-step explaining everything, the gentleness in which they did everything, asking, do you need anything? Do you want anything?
Right.
So efficient. I remember my experience with Nicole, which was one of the other patients, and actually the patient that had stayed at the hotel with me and had not been staying at the house with the other three. And she was a really special girl. We started talking from day one, and I saw the differences in our personality because I'm all hyperactive and aggressive and and wild and crazy at times, and she was kind of quiet and laid back. And it took a lot to get her to share her story and her situation, but after a while she warmed up to me and we became friends, and she started sharing with me about her son and got to speak to him on FaceTime. And it was kind of funny because I'm a very verbal person and she's just the opposite. And I remember many times, more times than I care to remember, she would say to me, well, that's just the way you are. I mean, I would be verbal about something, either complimentary, or if it was something going on, or a food I wasn't thrilled with, or a service at the hotel or whatever. And she was just like, you're just way too hyperactive. She says, you know, I'm just me, I am who I am. Take me as I am. I don't care. I don't let things bother me. I don't let things worry me. And she was just great to get to know because she had a great spirit and she'd gone through a lot. I was always under the misconception, number one, that cancer was the death sentence, and number two, cancer could be helped or worsened by just a diet and surroundings and stress. And I didn't realize how important psychological, therapeutic, mental, spiritual has to do with healing, the healing process. It's so very important. And I learned that there because, as I've said before, when I went there, I went with the breast tumor. And I thought that that's all that I was there for. But I learned very quickly that it was a whole body, whole mind experience to better myself, to get well mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and literally. And so when I left Hope4Cancer, I learned so much about myself, about the diet, the poor diet that I had, about my food and sugar addictions. I learned about stress. I learned about toxicity in a relationship, whether it be a family life or friends or job, that none of those are conducive to a happy, healthy life.
So, going on with your studies here, we did an ultrasound, a high-resolution ultrasound where we start in the neck and all the way down to the groin area. Right. And I'm happy to say that we have not found anything. Awesome. No lymph nodes anywhere. Yes. The liver is clear. Yes. Of course, the ultrasound cannot see the lungs, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But the ultrasound, totally clear. There's a little bit of fatty liver that you've had from the beginning. So more the reason why you have to adhere a bit more to doing the coffee enemas and exercising, losing a bit of weight, right? So, and I know you lost a little bit of weight, right?
About 8 to 10 pounds.
Okay, great.
So I had to just keep telling myself, even in 2014, I shall live and not die, because I had so much anxiety that it was just unbearable. Like, I couldn't sleep. It was stressful. And it's still stressful now, just because I'm always like, oh my God, is it gonna come back? But I always have to keep in mind I'm doing something different now. Right. I'm doing a lot of supplements. I'm, eating correctly. So I try to keep my stress levels down. But it's almost like, I don't know, I have to regroup myself sometimes, take a deep breath, pull it together. But I just thank God for this place. I thank God for this place. I cannot say thank you enough, because I honestly don't know. I mean, I don't know what my life would be like if I hadn't come here, I would still be going through chemotherapy. Every time I had chemotherapy, I had to be hospitalized. It was just a lot at one time. And you want to feel like you're making the right decisions, To be re-diagnosed with cancer is just like a blow, It's like, oh my God, how did this happen again? So I'm just grateful and thankful for Hope4Cancer to give me the education and to give me the knowledge that I need so that I can share with other people and, not just help myself, but help a variety of people, So, I mean, a lot of people, they don't want to share their knowledge. I have no problem sharing my knowledge because people need it, Cancer is a devastating, it's just devastating. You go through so much once you're diagnosed: stress, anxiety, tons of fear, and everybody deals with everything differently. But I just want to be able to help other people to be able to become cancer-free and just know that there's something else than traditional medicine. Because like I said, I don't think a lot of people know about holistic treatments or even where to go, because if I hadn't been on Facebook that particular day, I never would have known. And I don't know what my life would have been like without Hope for Cancer, you know? All the people that I've met, this place is amazing. I've never met so many nice people. But I'm very grateful, you know, so many people, they choose different options, but you have to choose what's best for you.
Right.
And I feel like this was the best decision that I've made. So I'm grateful. I'm so thankful.
I'm glad to see Nicole doing so well. She's got a long future ahead of her. And I'm also glad I played a small part of that hope. I try and make this about the guest. But I must admit, I feel a certain peace pointing people in the right direction. And that direction for Nicole was Hope for Cancer. Coming up on 8 days.
I knew I was edging towards being cancer-free, but I said I want to do this in 12 months.
I'm past this whole surgery option.
And Joe's gonna get healed.
So after 8 days, I continued to stay in Cancun for a few days. I had a little bit more treatment at the clinic. Then came home to Australia to my baby girl, of course. And in that time, I decided, I knew I was edging towards being cancer-free, but I said I want to do this in 12 months, just to show the world that it can be done. So I went back to the clinic again for one more round of treatment in October. Met with Dr. Tony at the end of that round, and he said, Kate, we can't find cancer. So, there were a lot of happy tears, a lot of elation. Something that obviously Annabelle doesn't understand right now. She doesn't understand what we've been through, but there will become a day where she will understand and she'll know. And she'll know how close she was to losing her mummy. And she'll understand why I went away, why I had to leave her for weeks on end. Early this year I went for my digital imaging, and I had to have that verified in Australia. So I had my PET scan results, and again they came back and said there is NED, there's no evidence of disease. So I like to class myself as cancer-free. I continue with my treatments, I continue with my therapies, I eat organically, I'm plant-based, I stay away from any toxicity, be that toxic relationships, be that toxins in the home. I plan to live a very full, fun, long life.
Being at 8 days for Joe and I was a symbol of the light at the end of the tunnel, because it was the beginning of seeing God manifest miracles in our life, and we continue to experience miracles and God showing us that He's with us. I want to make it very clear that it has not been easy. This whole journey, we have our ups and downs. However, just at the moment when we're sort of losing a little tiny bit of hope, God pulls through. He does something, and He makes Himself so real, giving us hope that He has Joe's life, and Joe's going to get healed. We really believe that.
Yeah, what's next for me in terms of my treatment? I'm past this whole surgery option, and yet I have to deal with the reality of my symptoms. I'm trying to manage those symptoms. After Cancun, I did a 21-day antibiotic treatment at the advice of my doctor, Dr. Tony, to rule out infection in my prostate. And did that, and it came and it went, and I have some symptoms that are still there. So I'm believing that this is going to add to my healing, and that this journey, this cancer is going to be reversed, you know. So that's kind of where I'm at. I continue to do my daily routine. with dedication and purpose, I do infrared sauna, and I still do my infrared lamp, and I do a few other things. I walk out, I do earthing, I eat well, I do juicing, I just do everything that I need to do. I do enemas, anything to do detox and to build my body.
I was always under the misconception, number one, that cancer was a death sentence, and number two, cancer could be helped or worsened by just a diet and surroundings and stress. And I didn't realize how important psychological, therapeutic, mental, spiritual has to do with healing, the healing process. It's so very important. And I learned that there because, as I've said before, when I went there, I went with a breast tumor. And I thought that that's all that I was there for. But I learned very quickly that it was a whole body, whole mind experience to better myself, to get well mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and literally. And so when I left Hope4Cancer, I learned so much about myself, about the diet, the poor diet that I had, about my food and sugar addictions. I learned about stress. I learned about toxicity in a relationship, whether it be a family life or friends or job, that none of those are conducive to a happy, healthy life. And Dr. Leslie was so instrumental in this journey for me because I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about the cancer journey and what I needed to do to get myself better and to stay better, and what I could share with other people and be a walking megaphone for the importance of all these components that Dr. Tony talks about in his book, the 7 principles. And so it was amazing what I learned, because I thought I knew a lot, but when I got down to it, I didn't know as much as I thought I did. This is being done with love and kindness and compassion and a true desire to educate the public and educate the world on what's out there and what alternatives people have and what options they have, because it's all about options. And when I got to Hope4Cancer, I didn't know there were as many options as I do now.
I think at the end of the day, that's really what this show is about, really about telling these stories and finding some hope. And even through the thick, even through some of the bad, even through some of the negative at times, that there's always hope. There's always a willing spirit to fight. And I can't wait to see them in another 20 years from now as we talk about this experience. And hopefully 8 days will continue to inspire people. I hope.
As you stand at the foothills, it may seem you have a mountain to climb. May feel you cannot make it, but you will make it in time. Oh yes, the road may stretch, seem too far for your feet. Just take one step